Hey, welcome back. Oh, well, I should mention that I finally I moved the GameCube out of this room so that you can't hear it anymore, hopefully. I'm using the Wavebird. Remember the Wavebird? I do remember this kind of blowing my mind, where it's like, what? There's no wire? I think this was the first one, maybe? No, maybe PlayStation had one. But those guys I was fighting yesterday, they just kind of disappeared. I didn't kill them, but they're gone, so that's good. I guess today I'm going to try to talk about the Mere Christianity book. I have a lot of notes. It might take a couple days, I don't know. And we'll see what happens, I don't know. These notes seemed interesting when I wrote them. I bet there's a grappling hook up there. Right. Oh no, there's a little tunnel here. How do I get in there? So Mere Christianity. Oh, that guy's gonna eat me. Ah. Mere Christianity's the book I talked about last week too. It's C.S. Lewis wrote a book. Can I kill that thing? Oh god. It's like the plant from Jumanji. Okay. Be careful. Careful. So what was my note? He just wrote a book about Christianity. How do I get up there? And I like reading it because it's like a smart person talking about Christianity, so it's, I don't know, that sounded dumb to say. Ooh. What was my note? So a lot of the first, I guess it's separated into like books. So, okay, yeah, I can't do this yet. A lot of the first book is just developing this idea that there is a moral law to humans that's different from the natural law, which is just like gravity. And the moral law can be obeyed, and it can be not obeyed. But the natural laws can't. I remember my pastor had liked this book a lot. I remember him talking about it a lot. He would always bring it up in the sermons. Oops. Was I not supposed to do that? I need to get up there. I want to save. I haven't saved. And he would talk a lot about how there is a higher truth, like we don't make it. Us humans, we don't make it. A lot of people will say like, oh, it changes with the culture, what our morals are, but there's a higher truth, and it's God's truth. And I would always, whenever he said that, I would always kind of bump up against it for a couple reasons. One is, I don't have any problem admitting or agreeing with the fact that there is a higher truth, like a morality that decides what's good and what's bad. And it's not personal. It's like, it's a, I don't know how to describe it. Like, it's a code that if we all followed, we all would be like God, if we followed it perfectly. We would be perfect, and the world would be perfect. I don't have a problem, like, and that's God's law. That's how he wants us to act, and if we don't act that way, it's a sin against God. I think I have a big problem when pastors talk about this, because they're talking about it from a place of authority. So what they say is, well, I'm talking about like what it says in the Bible, what God says, but it's his interpretation. It's always our interpretation. God isn't actually telling us. He gave us the Bible and we have to interpret it, but it's not. And I feel like I didn't save. Oops. That's what I wanted to do. There's so much evidence for me that that's true. Just because we keep getting it wrong. Pastors keep getting it wrong. They keep saying the wrong things. We keep interpreting it wrong. And I think it's arrogant to think any of us have it exactly right. Some of us are better than others, I guess. And that's why we kind of look to pastors, because they study the Bible and morality and theology and anyone who claims to know God's truth must be lying, because they are not God. We interpret the best we can, but we can never 100% know. I did start writing a note when I was listening to the book, and then he just kind of instantly refuted it, which I thought was interesting. I was thinking, well, Christians used the Bible to say slavery was okay. And then he used the example right after that to say something about witches. Oh, this was interesting, his thought process. Like, I don't know how I feel about this, but he did say, none of us would disagree that if witches were real and they were doing what the people said they were doing, that would be bad. We just disagree that if they were doing it or not. So we all agree on the same morality. That's the thing he was saying that it's hard, that I mentioned last week, that like we all feel what we ought to do, and that's what God put in us, that morality. That we feel what we ought to do, even if we don't want to do it, which is not something that animals feel. They don't feel like they ought to do something, and then they choose to do other things. But what was I talking about? But what was the thing with the witches? Oh yeah. But none of us would disagree that if witches were real, that what those people were doing was a good thing. What? That's not true. They were killing them. I don't know. I don't know, Mr. Lewis. I don't know about your... Can I open it? No. I forget where it was going. Maybe in the dark world somewhere. Is this bombable? But anyway, I thought it was interesting. But yeah, I don't think I can fully agree with that premise, but it's kind of bad because he's like, well, you gotta kind of agree with this premise to come along with me in the rest of the book. I'm like, I don't know if I can get fully on board with this. Is that a black door? Okay. I don't know what the green is, but this is scary. What's this? Oh! You should get hurt if you get hit by the thing. Boop. Boop. Does it go through me? I can't see. It's too fast. We do all have a morality, and I think that's interesting. And if you want to look for proof of a God, that's a good place to look. It doesn't matter what our morality is, we all think there is something we should be doing, and we feel bad if we are not doing it. Where'd he go? These guys are easy. The guys who disappear are hard. They just like... Ah. That was kind of what he was starting to get... boss. What he was starting to get into when I was finishing today. How... like you can see... Not really, he doesn't talk about proof because he's a good... because he knows what he's talking about, and you can't prove God, obviously. But he's chosen to be a Christian, and these are the reasons why. So that's as close as you can get to be like... He used to be an atheist, and now he's like, well, I looked at all the religions, and this is the one that made the most sense to me. That was something that always bothered me about my pastor, too. He would say, like, there's one truth, and the culture would tell you, you get to choose, like, what's good and what's bad, but that's not true. God chooses. I guess what he's saying is technically true, but the way he said it, I don't like it. It's like, I do get to choose my morality, kind of. I mean, I guess not really. Oh, what did I get? 5 missiles using the power beam. What did I just get? I thought I got a missile upgrade, but I just got like something, I don't know, a missile shooty thing. That's good. Like if I went to church and the pastor wasn't saying something that I liked, I would go to a different church. And if everybody felt that way about Christianity, Christianity wouldn't be a thing. So we do get to choose. Right? I mean, the reason why I'm still a Christian is because I like what it says. I don't think there are a lot of people who are like, oh, I like what Christianity says, but I'm too scared to change and be a good person. That's the thing that it comes across when pastors say that, is like, people are scared to be change and be good. It's hard for me to believe that. Like, they read the Bible and like, oh, I agree with everything here, but it's so hard to do it, and I'm scared. No, that's not why people aren't Christians. People aren't Christians because the Bible says Jonah got eaten by a fish, and that doesn't make any sense. That's why people aren't Christians. They don't want to be a fool. They don't want to be caught. Oh, is this the... Maybe you... I have to look up how to do that. Super missile thing. People try to make themselves feel better by saying, oh, people aren't Christians because they're afraid to be good people. And implicit in that is like, I'm not afraid to be a good person. So, but that's not true. Most people aren't Christians because most people want to be good people, and they all have a sense of morality. And if you're a Christian, you believe that morality comes from God. So when people reject it, they're rejecting the inconsistencies and the weirdness of, like, Moses parted a Red Sea with a staff. Why did he? Well, that's weird. I've never seen anybody do that. That's kind of stupid. That's why people don't want to be Christians, because they're like, I don't want to believe in a kid's story. That's like dumb. Jesus turned water into wine? It's kind of goofy. Missile systems. Missile launcher. What did I get? I got some kind of a missile thing. Oh, beam? Power beam? Oh! use the C stick. Nope. Okay, I gotta figure out what I just got, and then I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.